Well, ladies and gentlemen, Week 17 was an eventful one to say the least, and with it, Week 18 is going to end up being one of the more spectacular finishes to this wild regular season. We have divisions that are yet to be decided. We have standings that have yet to be finalized. And with it, we're going to be talking about the Dallas Cowboys and their playoff seeding opportunities, what they have to see in order for things to get to where they want to go, and ultimately matchups and how the rest of the conference could play out. With that being said, let's get into it. Now look, Week 18 has a lot on the line, and with that, the Dallas Cowboys have many ways that this thing can go for them. They can still win the NFC East, they're locked in at the 5th spot, they can't go any further down, and they can still get the number 1 seed. We're going to be going over an article done by Vlogging the Boys about these specific scenarios and stuff like that, and then we're going to further discuss it. We have known for some time now that the Dallas Cowboys are a playoff team. The specifics associated with their trip to the postseason have felt inevitable. But on Sunday, fate smiled upon the Cowboys in a number of ways. The Eagles lost to the Saints on Sunday, which kept open the door for Dallas to barge in and take not only the NFC East title, but the number 1 seed as well. In order for either of those things to be accomplished, the Cowboys would have to win in Week 18 first and foremost. It will certainly not hurt their chances that they're visiting a Washington Commanders team that has already been eliminated from playoff contention. For what it's worth, Dallas has opened up as a 6.5-point favorite over Washington. On Sunday, the Minnesota Vikings lost, which is important given that they were ahead of the Cowboys in the win department and therefore in a potential seeding order if Dallas wound up winning the division. The Vikings and Cowboys now have the same record, and Dallas has the tiebreaker thanks to beating them head-to-head before Thanksgiving. Unfortunately, the 49ers did not lose, although they certainly flew very close to the sun. But nevertheless, they remain with an equal record to the Cowboys and have the conference tiebreaker over them. Even if Dallas winds up winning the NFC East, they need to win and have the Eagles lose in order to do so. Unless the 49ers lose at home to Arizona, they can be the number 2 seed at best. Furthermore, if Dallas ends up being the number 2 seed between the Seahawks, Lions, and Packers, it is Green Bay who is in the most control of their destiny. If the Packers win in Week 18, they're in the postseason as the conference 3rd wildcard spot. Incidentally, they play the Lions, who are vying for the same spot and position. And the Seahawks currently hold that spot, but cannot earn it with just a win in Week 18 in their game against the Los Angeles Rams. Here is what will need to happen for each of these teams in order to get that 3rd wildcard spot. Number 1, for Seattle, they must win against the Rams, and the Lions have to win or tie versus the Packers. For the Lions, they have to win against the Packers, and Seattle has to lose or tie against the Rams. Also, just as a heads up, Detroit can also get in if they tie against Green Bay and Seattle loses to Los Angeles. And then finally, Packers, they just got to win. If the Cowboys wind up taking the 2 seed, like I said, they would have to host whichever of these teams had things go their way. It would sure be something for Dallas to improve their playoff positioning only to host the Green Bay Packers of all teams, but sometimes that's just how things go. And really, guys, that's just the end of that, right? I would say for me, my ideal spot for the Cowboys would be number 2 because of what happens down the road, right? Of course, I would prefer to be the 5 seed and do what you got to do there. But if we're talking about the easiest path moving forward to get to an NFC Championship game, at 5 or 2, you have to play 2 games to get there. It's not like how it was before where you just, as a 2 seed, you can get that divisional bye and you can move forward. It's not like that anymore, right? So this is really the question I have for you because I don't see that 1st seed ever happening, right? I don't think that's going to happen. But if the Cowboys were to be a 2 seed or a 5 seed, which one would you prefer and why? For me, I can argue for both. I think with a 2 seed, if you beat, let's say, you have a chance at 3 other teams to play. And for me, realistically, it comes down to this. If Green Bay loses to the Lions, I'm okay with getting that 2 spot. I'm like, let's get that 2 spot because you're going to play a Lions team or a Seattle team. That they'll play you tough, but it's a much favorable matchup for you. And then if you beat that team, then you're going to host a game versus Minnesota or possibly Philadelphia if one of the other 2 lower seeds Well, really, the 6 seed wins, right? The 7 seed can't beat the 2 seed because Dallas would be that in that case. And then Dallas would be the NFC Championship game, and they would either host it or they'd go on the road to San Francisco, most likely, because San Francisco would be the number 1 seed in that case. But if Dallas is the 5th seed, they would have to beat Tampa Bay. Then they would have to go on the road to go play Philadelphia, most likely, or whoever. And it's just crazy to me that could be the path. And I think for me, it doesn't matter. It doesn't. Because, look, if you end up being 2 or 5, I don't care. You got to prove to me that you can do much better than just win just one playoff game, right? You got to prove to me that. But am I going to be upset? No, because, again, I did not expect the Cowboys to be at this position. So, if the Cowboys end up winning the NFC East, I will be surprised, number 1. But number 2, who knows? Who honestly knows? Like, we don't know what can happen. We don't know, this is how things are going to go. And I just don't know, guys. A lot is at stake this weekend. And I'm telling you that if the Cowboys end up getting a 2 or 1 seed, it's going to be very interesting to see what Philadelphia does. And now knowing that they had their fate in their hands and they dropped it. I don't think they're going to lose to the Giants. I think the Giants are going to lose. They're not going to give a shit. That's just me. I would be shocked, dude. And in Philadelphia, you should win that game. I have no issue seeing them losing, or losing or winning that game. Like I don't have a problem with them losing. I'm saying, like, I don't see it happening. And Dallas, I think Dallas is going to beat the Washington Commanders. I think we're going to have to play Carson Wentz again. So we should see the Cowboys beat the crap out of the Commanders. But I don't really care, guys, at this point. Let's just get this ship right. We got one more week to stay healthy, to get ready. And this thing's going on. Wow. I cannot believe postseason football is here. And it's going to be tough, guys. But if there's anything to keep in mind, as a little fun fact, Mike McCarthy has not gone one and done in back-to-back years since he's been a head coach in the NFL. So keep that in mind. But with that being said, I do hope you enjoyed this video. Please make sure to leave a like, subscribe if you're new, hit that notification bell, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. All right, guys? Have a great rest of your day. Goodbye.